Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're plugging into the silent revolution that's happening on two wheels. We're going to uncover how some pretty wild, top-secret military tech has actually led to the incredible electric bikes you and I can go out and ride today.
You know, our whole story really starts in a place you might not expect, the world of special operations. This is a world where being silent isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a tactical advantage that can literally mean the difference between life and death.
So here's what we've got lined up. We'll kick things off with those stealthy military origins. Then we'll meet the consumer bikes battling it out. We're going to put them head-to-head in 3 rounds: power, endurance, and agility. And then, at the very end, we'll figure out which electric ride is the perfect fit for you.
So why on earth would elite forces like the U.S. Recon Marines pick an electric motorcycle as their weapon of choice? Well, the answer in one word is stealth.
Okay, get this. Take the military-grade Zero MX bike. It only puts out about 55 decibels of sound. That's about as loud as your refrigerator just humming away in the kitchen. Seriously, try to imagine an entire squad approaching a target and you wouldn't hear a thing.
And as you can see right here, the advantages for covert ops are just huge. It's not just that they're quiet, they're also way harder to spot with thermal cameras. They can go basically anywhere, even straight through rivers. And with no exhaust, there's no smell to give away their position. On top of all that, out in the field, they're insanely reliable and have almost no maintenance.
So that same awesome military-grade tech has just exploded onto the consumer market. Let's get to it and meet the key players who are now battling it out for that #1 spot.
What's happened is the market has kind of split into 2 main camps. On one side, you've got the absolute high-power monsters, like the Stark Varg. But on the other side, you've got the category we're really going to dig into today, the hyperlights. And these things are just a blast. We're talking super agile, really powerful bikes that all weigh under 200 pounds, an incredible blend of performance and just plain fun.
All right, let's do it. Round 1, raw power. Now, in the electric world, power doesn't just mean top speed. It's all about that instant torque. You know, that neck-snapping acceleration you feel right from a dead stop.
Now, what's really truly remarkable here is the sheer amount of power coming out of these lightweight machines. I mean, the Ewatt, the Ventus, the E-Ride Pro SR, they're all pumping out over 40 horsepower in a package that weighs less than 200 pounds. That power-to-weight ratio is, well, it's just astonishing.
Of course, having all that power can be a bit of a double-edged sword. A lot of riders say these bikes have so much grunt that just finding traction can be a real challenge. It really rewards a skilled, delicate touch on the throttle. It just goes to show you, it's not just about having the power, it's about being able to control it.
But hey, all that power is completely useless if it doesn't last, right? So for round 2, we are talking about endurance. Just how far can these bikes actually take you on a single charge? And here is something absolutely crucial you need to know about electric bikes. Range is super variable. A casual ride on a flat trail, that's one thing. But trying to climb a steep, sandy hill at full throttle, that will absolutely kill your battery. The number you see on the box is almost never what you're going to get in the real world.
This table really does a great job of showing how battery size directly translates to real-world range. Out on the test track, the Arctic Leopard's bigger battery gives it a clear edge. It just goes farther. But it's also important to remember that even the bikes with smaller batteries here offer more than enough juice for a really solid day out on the trails.
Okay, time for our final round, agility. And when it comes to these hyperlight bikes, trust me, weight is everything.
This chart right here really highlights the pretty significant weight differences in this category. That 50-pound gap between the lightest and the heaviest bikes, it might not sound like a ton, but it completely changes how they feel out on the trail. It affects everything from how you corner to how you jump.
And this really gets to the heart of the trade-off, doesn't it? The lighter bikes are always described as nimble and playful, almost like a BMX bike with a motor. They're perfect for tight technical spots and they feel incredible, especially for smaller riders. The slightly heavier bikes, though, they give you a much more stable, planted feel. They just soak up rough terrain with confidence, which is fantastic for faster, more open trails, or for larger riders who really appreciate that stability.
So after all that data, after all the comparisons, who's the champion? Well, the truth is the answer isn't a single winner. It's all about finding the right bike for the right rider. So let's break down the podium for you. Based on some really expensive testing, 3 bikes really stood out from the rest of the pack, and each one excels in a different area. See, it all comes down to what you value most. What kind of rider are you?
The E-Ride Pro SS is that perfect, versatile all-rounder that's going to suit most riders who just want to hit the trails hard. The Ventus, that's for the adrenaline junkies and the tinkerers who love to fine-tune every little setting for pure, raw speed. And then there's the Arctic Leopard. That's your long-distance trail machine for riders who need endurance and stability for that challenging enduro-style riding.
You know, as this technology keeps getting better and better, moving from the battlefield right into our backyards, it really leaves us with one massive question. Are we actually witnessing the beginning of the end for the roar of the gas engine?